Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I see all the attendees popping in here, so we'll give it just a few more seconds to make sure everybody has an opportunity to join, and then we'll get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us today. At HelpShift, we're on a mission to rid the world of bad support experiences, and I look forward to showing you how we do that today. As we go through the content, please feel free to put questions in the chat window. We will answer them at the end of the session. Also, the deck that we're sharing today will be sent out after the presentation as well. My name is Eric Vermillion. I'm the CEO of HelpShift. I'm joined today by Eric Ashby, our head of product, and by Samantha Pang, our head of customer success. Eric and Sam will be taking you through much of the content today, but I'm going to take a few minutes to set the stage and talk about why we believe the time is right to leverage some great mobile app forces that are happening in the market and the power of HelpShift to really change the way consumers experience support and find resolution to their issues. All right, let's dive in. The market has certainly evolved a lot over the past few decades. When I was a teenager, if I wanted to engage with a brand, I usually drove there. Lots of brick and mortar stores. There were quite a few catalogs that came to the house as well, and occasionally I'd pick up the phone and buy something that way. None of the stores in the call centers knew who I was or what I liked, but strangely, the experience still felt very immersive as it was one-to-one, and I was fully engaged without other distractions while I was there. Then came the evolution to web and e-commerce. Now I could go to many stores without ever leaving my house. From the computer, I could see all of my purchase options and the many different configurations that I had access to. While this opened up a wider world and a way to accomplish a lot of shopping from the comfort of home, it somehow felt a whole lot less personal. Questions couldn't really be asked easily, and everything felt a bit one size fits all in terms of the experience, but the convenience was unmistakable. However, brand loyalty was driven much more by the quality or the innovation of the product, and the experience had less to do with it. Now here we are in 2022, still shock as I say it out loud, but we're in the midst of a mobile app revolution, and mobile apps have fully transformed the way we engage with brands that have chosen to use them as their primary engagement vehicle with consumers. In many ways, when you open an app, you are entering the store. You have a fully immersive experience. The brand knows who you are, they know your history. Often they know the context of what you're looking for, and in many instances, they can actually deliver the product or service fully within the app. Modern consumers have tasted this and they know what's possible and are increasingly demanding it. Companies that do this well can take advantage of the fact that consumers now spend more time in mobile apps than anywhere else. Almost 1/3 of their day, according to the recently released App Annie report. There's irrefutable evidence that when brands do well with in-app engagement, they have happier customers and they make much more money. However, strangely enough, customer service and support looks far more like it did 30 years ago. Many apps choose to eject you from the app to offer support. Yes, at your most vulnerable moment, when you need help, the app pushes you into an email web form or it slides you into a live chat queue.
But also social media, and we also know that they're exclusively interested in supporting your brand and won't sell all of your data to your competitors. Yeah, I mean that's right. So or even push them to a competitor at your moment in need. So why would you actually push somebody out of the app when you work so hard to build what they've been engaged in?
Yeah, okay. So if you don't believe me about, or if you don't believe Eric about what he just shared in the app revolution story, here's some recent data that may also help to convince you. I also happen to know that 7 of the top 10 revenue generating apps in the world know the importance of keeping their customers in the app for support, and they rely on HelpShift to help them do that. When it comes to support and creating the ability for agents to support consumers across the smorgasbord of support channels that are available to them, the modern customer service agent has never had more tools at their disposal, and they keep getting better. AI, journey orchestration, RPA tools have made agents super agents. This is a good thing, However, it fails to account for one thing: the modern consumer wants to help themselves. They don't want to be constrained by available times. They don't want to be victimized by macro level events like COVID or severe weather or things like that. That oftentimes makes support very difficult to access. While most traditional support tools talk about how they support mobile, that is a very different thing than in-app support. In-app support means my support journey happens fully within the app. When I indicate that I need help, my intent is understood. Typically, I'm already securely authenticated, which is a very important point. And there's context for my problem, and I'm taken to a logical answer to help with the resolution. Bots are ready to help me through the journey and help me resolve my problem without ever leaving the app. Sometimes I need that one-to-one support experience, either because I'm a high-value customer or because the problem becomes too complex for the bots, in which case there's an elegant handoff to the agent-driven support tools to orchestrate a much more bespoke customer experience. As you can see by this slide, HelpShift already helps some of the leading mobile app revolutionary brands provide in-app support to billions of consumers. Our customers share many attributes. They never have splash screens on their website saying support is overwhelmed. Their consumers always have access to support and engagement. And they're often able to automate 80 to 90% of their experiences in the app, and their consumers are thrilled. They get always on support within the app, in their language, 24/7 and on their time. I'm sure most of you saw the announcement this morning that Microsoft's acquiring Activision Blizzard, one of the logos you see on this slide, for almost $70 billion. This just a week after Take-Two announced their acquisition of Zynga. Two big mobile app revolutionary companies. The world continues to tell us how important mobile and mobile apps are, and HelpShift is here to help ensure consumers get modern world-class support in those apps. I'm going to turn it over to Eric and Sam now to talk about some of the new things that we're announcing today and to show you what I described really looks like, or show you how what I described really looks like and the impact it's having on some of the best apps in the world. Eric will expand on how to create an award-winning app and how delivering a delightful in-app support experience can really help drive adoption of your app. So Eric, I'll turn it over to you.
Sam, why don't you talk about first about what it means to have a winning app?
Sure. So we really know what it takes to have a winning app, because these are attributes that I look for when I'm using apps in my daily life. And it is definitely something that our customers are constantly striving to do in order to keep their users coming back to using their app. For example, you should know who the end user is when they're logging into your app. You should provide personalized support based on the type of user they are, free versus premium, and direct them to the right place with the right level of support to help resolve their problem as quickly as possible. Of course, there are table stakes requirements like security and stability that is also critical to providing a good experience to users.
And of course, the most important thing, which we'll be talking about today, is having the in-app customer support. And I want to just share, what it also takes to sync an app. What is the experience that it takes? And it really is when you send the customer out of the app. Often support is an afterthought. You've built their app and they're like, oh, what do we do about support? And so someone comes in and says, okay, well, let's put a link and we'll link them to our support page, or we'll link them to maybe a chat or social media. And this is actually absolutely the way to kill an app. I was last week, and this happened to me. I was actually sitting in a dealership trying to negotiate with that dealership a vehicle. I was having some, an issue with my bank that I needed to get solved. And so I tried to go through their customer service, and it was absolutely a nightmare because I kept getting kicked out of the app that I was in. And just ask yourself, how many times have you been in a similar experience where you had to tell support who you are, you had to retell them what you were trying to do, even though maybe you started in the app, or you're sitting there waiting on your phone in a live chat queue, and it says you're number 5 and you're just waiting for somebody to, in fact, you can't leave, or you're in the live chat and you're sent to email to get verified so that you can go back and talk to somebody. Or then when you do talk to somebody, you have to repeat yourself because there's no context in it. And it's just, this whole thing is just messy as you go through the bots, or these circular never-ending bots that go around and around. And then when a person gets to it, you have to then talk to them about what you already told the bot. From a customer perspective, this is not the experience they want. And from a brand, This is not what you're trying to do when you've spent so much time to build such a great experience in your app. And so if you think about what a customer wants, it's very simple. They want their problem solved. They want it solved now, and they want it as easily as possible. That's what they're trying to do so that they can get back to doing what they were doing in your app in the first place. And that's what we provide. That's what we facilitate is the best in-app customer engagement and customer support experience. It's personalized, it's contextual, it's simple, it's modern, it's branded, it's engaging. It's always available because it's part of your app. It's highly scalable because it's backed by bots and humans. In fact, we find that typically in-app support, you have 2 to 3 times more productivity from your agents than over email channels. And since it is in-app, it's integrated via an SDK. We already have over 3 billion devices that are using HelpShift today. And Sam, as head of customer success, she works directly with some of these customers as they're deploying the SDK. And Sam, if you could just share with me quickly about some of the things that you have seen as brands have moved to in-app customer support.
Definitely. So what we're seeing is that CSAT is going up every year as more users are asking for help inside the app. And our customers are realizing that the in-app channel really consistently gives them the higher CSAT. At the same time, we are seeing the percentage of issues handled by bots increasing as customers are really figuring out that bots are effective in handling partial or all of the conversation with their end users. We're also seeing more users go through the app to get support rather than channels such as email because they're able to get these instant responses. It's an always-on experience, as Eric described. Eric, back to you.
Yeah, thanks. Tell you what, instead of describing it, I'm just going to show everybody what does this actually mean and what this looks like. So let me bring up. I recorded this experience yesterday of going through. Now, let me just set the stage just a little bit. I was out on a hike, and as I was hiking, I got back to the car. I jumped in. I opened up my backpack, and I noticed my wallet was gone. I don't know if it dropped out when I was getting a drink or if somebody along the way took it or what, I don't know. So now I'm really worried. I need to contact the bank. The good news is I have the bank's app installed. And so I'm going to show you the experience of how this looks with in-app customer service. So now I do have this app that I use. The app allows me to track my investments, but it also allows me to track my cards. But it has a question mark that immediately takes me within the app right in support. And it starts with self-help, with FAQs and things like that. But this is kind of an important concern that I have. So I'm going to skip over this and just jump right into having a conversation. I want to talk to somebody about my problem. So here I'm going to start a new conversation. It starts off with the ability for me to select my problem, a very simple menu, so I can indicate what my intent is. But again, I'm kind of worried. So I just start typing away and I say, look, I was on a hike. And I lost my wallet or my card, and the AI will jump in and indicate that it thinks it's for a lost bank card. So I simply select that and it starts the workflow for a lost bank card. First thing that it will do is it will give me some common answers from the knowledge. And you can see there's report lost and stolen card. That will come up. And let me read it. It says, oh, don't worry if you've lost your card because you can contact us through support. Good. I'm in the right place. Oh, and look, they can quickly block my card and replace it. Okay, good. So I just need to continue with this experience. It looks like they have a solution here. So I'd like to continue and move on to get more help. Now, when I do this, you can see that a very specific bot, the lost card bot, starts. And this will help me take care of that. It just needs to find some information about what had happened. So it's asking me which card was lost. Now, in this case, it's 0822, which is my primary card. So I'll let them know that was the card that got lost. And then they'll probably want to know, let me see, yeah, what day it was lost. And so it was lost on Monday. That's when I went on my hike. So I'll put there, that's when I lost it. This is important to see what charges there were. And then now they can actually take an action. The bot can do something about it. In this case, block the card and send me a new one. So great, it's now taken care of, but I'm a little bit concerned that maybe somebody used the card. And so the bot's giving an opportunity to talk to an agent. So I'm going to choose that say, look, I'd actually like to talk to an agent. And what I want to know is I want to know if they can check to see if someone actually used my card, recently to make sure that no one's actually been using it, in maliciously or whatever. And so what's happened now is the bot here has collected all this information, the context. The bot knows who I am, but it's now going to hand it to the agent, and the agent has that all that same information. They know who I am, they know why I'm there, they know what the card was, the date, and so they can quickly just go in. All they have to do is check what was the recent transactions and then respond back. And so you can see they're now engaged, an agent engaged. This is asynchronous, so I could have left and come back at any time, but the agent right here is going to respond. Let's see what he indicates happened to my card. And sure enough, he says, nope, looks like the only charge was from yesterday. I went to JR Steakhouse, got a steak. It's not too expensive steak, but that was there. So great. Looks like everything's taken care of. That was really all that I needed. So I'm going to respond back to the agent, let him know that I was happy with that. Let's see if the agent has anything else to respond. And nope, looks like he was glad to help and he closed it off. Now at this point, I'm going into a feedback. Since I'm right here, it's super simple for me just to give a response. Was my issue solved? Yes. I imagine if I said no, it'd just take me back to an agent or the bot. So it's great. And then a 5-star rating. Now, of course, this was a demo that I did, so I'm going to give myself 5 stars. I typically do that. I like myself very well. So submit that, and then I'll give a comment about how well I did. And this was amazing. So I'll say that this was amazing support. So what you can see here is this experience was very logical, took me from self-help into an automated help, was able to, within maybe about 30 seconds, block my card. And then if I needed, I could talk to an agent. All of that happened here. And so that when I'm done, it just takes me right back to the app. I stayed within the app the entire time. And that's the beauty of in-app support, is that it provides you that experience in the app. Now, what you've seen here, that experience, is what we call the modern customer in-app support journey. And this is a journey that's designed to take the customer from a problem to a solution as fast as possible, so they can get back to doing what they were doing in the app in the first place. You never leave the app. Now, there's a lot of parts to this journey that you saw. I know we went kind of through it a little bit quickly, so I'm going to actually break this down so that you can see this modern support journey. It's a logical support progression that starts with the customer in the app, and it allows them to easily flow through the simplified process experience where each step they can solve the problem, or it leads them to the next part of the support journey where they can get additional support. The customer remains in control the entire time, and they remain in your apps at all times. Now we're going to start, and we're going to work through each part of the journey here. And we're actually going to start with the SDK. And the SDK is really the magic that makes this all happen. This is where the developers integrate this experience into their app, and they can do this in a few minutes by taking the HelpShift SDK and integrating it directly in their app. And so today we're actually announcing SDK X, which is HelpShift's next generation of the in-app support. This is our easiest to deploy and maintain, and is the only support SDK on the market that offers the complete journey, everything that you saw all in one. And when I say it's easy to maintain, as we release new functionality, it will automatically be adopted in the SDKX platform without you having to redeploy or re-upgrade your SDK. So that's the first announcement today, is SDKX. The second thing I want to talk about is the Help Center. And to do this, I'm actually going to have that the demo you saw. I'm going to actually bring that up here, bring up my banking app, and go into the question mark here. And we'll talk about the Help Center. And the second announcement is about Help Center, HelpShift's Help Center 2.0. This is where consumers go initially, and they can self-help and find answers to their most frequently asked questions. Like everything in HelpShift, this is completely branded, so you can see the branding and the coloring, all of that. So you get the same look and feel of your app, and answers are just a few clicks away with popular articles, which they can go into, related articles, and of course, search, with which they can do. Now, customers have been using Help Center, the HelpShift Help Center, for some time. And Sam, what have our customers been seeing, kind of the impact of the Help Center that they've had on their support?
Yeah, Eric. So customers that use our Help Center are seeing deflection rates at an average of around 90%, and some other customers have even achieved as high as 99%. So, and to achieve this result, they really invest effort to keep their FAQs updated. We also provide them with a lot of relevant data and reporting so that they get those insights and they're able to identify areas of improvement to continuously improve their FAQs and increase those deflection rates. This is all doable because the experience is inside the app.
All right. Thanks, Sam. So the first step is this self-help. Now, at times that the questions may need more help. And so in this case, they will go into the guided support or into the conversation. I'll click on the little conversation icon here, and that starts the conversation. That will take me to the second step, which is user intent. Now, conversational support is most effective when the conversation starts off with a clear intent. If you know why the customer is here for support. And that's why today we are announcing the general availability of Smart Intents. And Smart Intents is HelpShift's patented AI service that allows the customer to quickly indicate why they are contacting support. And then this leads to an optimized support experience. And as you can see, customers are presented with a menu that they can quickly select what they're here for, or they can simply just start typing. I was on a hike and lost my card. And you can see that just as they type, the AI will come in and it will recommend what the intent will be. And then they can simply select this intent, and then it will guide them on the rest of their journey. Now, we are announcing general availability for this, but we've had some early customers who have been able to use this, and it's had a pretty significant impact on their workflow and their automation. And Sam's been working with them on that. And Sam, what have you seen from customers who've begun to use the Smart Intents?
Right. From our customers who are currently using Smart Intents, we're seeing up to 90% of their issues start with an intent selection, which then takes their end users down a set of predefined workflows, which lead to a faster resolution and higher CSAT as a result.
Wow. So you're saying that 90% of the time that somebody comes in to start a conversation, it's starting with that known intent. And so they're able just to automate that. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's great. So, okay, so let's continue on with this journey. I'm going to select the lost bank card and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens next. So now we know that often with a lot of questions that come up, the customer just needs a quick answer. And this is where Quick Search comes in. This is an automated bot that will match whatever they've typed in or whatever intent that they've selected with any known knowledge that is already within the system. This really requires no effort on your part. And as you can see in this case, for example, with lost bank card, it identified here were the top possible knowledge about that, including the lost or stolen card that was right here. And what's great is it's just an option that you turn on. This bot is completely automated. You just turn it on and then watch the bot learn and start answering questions automatically for additional deflection. Sam?
Yep, adding to what Eric said, in terms of results, we've seen this deflection rate go up over time as the AI is learning from the FAQs that get selected by the end users. So currently, we're up to an average deflection of 9% across all of our customers who are using the Quick Search bot, and some customers are at as high as 40% just by having a good quality set of FAQs and understanding the most common problems their end users are contacting support about. ROI is really immediate with just a flip of a switch on this feature.
Well, that's great, and that answers the kind of the common questions. But if someone needs additional assistance, maybe there's a workflow or an action that needs to be taken, that's where they move on to what we call guided service. And so let's move on to the next step of guided service. And we'll start with the custom bots and automations. And so what custom bots and automations are, these are not traditional chat bots that's trying to have a conversation that will end up in a circular route. HelpShift bots are really automated workflows that are designed to solve specific problems. As you can see here, once we knew that this was a lost card, the lost card bot was the one that came in, and it's going to walk me through the workflow for solving lost cards. Since the bots are part of the application, it has full context. It can see who I am. Hi, Eric Ashby. It knows what I'm there for, and it knows how best to solve the problem. And best of all, the bots are designed to work with agents. So as I go through this, I always have an option that I can transition over to an agent at any time once as the bot directs. So here, I'll do that on the next step. But before I do, we've been working with brands for almost a little over 2 years, and have been seeing really, really interesting results with brands who have started to use bots. Sam, can you talk about those?
Yes. So we're currently seeing an average of about 80% of issues handled by a bot at some point during the conversation, with an average of about 50% getting fully resolved by a bot. We have some customers fully automating as much as 90% of their conversations by connecting our bots to their backend systems that verify or retrieve information that an agent would otherwise have to manually do. We're also seeing CSAT increasing because when a bot and agent works together, users' problems are getting resolved faster. At the same time, CSAT for agent alone is also going up because they're able to focus on more complex problems that bots cannot work on, as well as giving more time to their higher value users.
Thanks, Sam. And I remember the first time when I saw this, I thought that was really interesting, that both the CSAT of the bot and agent issues went up, but also the CSAT of agents alone goes up. And what we're finding is, because, as Sam was saying, is that the agents then become more effective because they're working on the things that they do best. And so let's move on and talk about the last step here, which is to message with an agent. And so I'll start a conversation and I'll say, did anyone use my card today? So I'm just going to quickly ask the agent if anyone has now used the card. And so you can see actually an agent has jumped right into this. The bot is working with the agent, so the agent has all of the information so that they can respond. Now, HelpShift's modern support journey is designed to work with the most common CRM platforms that are out there. And what that does is empowers the agent so that they can do what they do best, which is be creative, be empathetic, work on the hardest problems, and or the most valued customers. So here the agent is asked me if there's anything else. Nope. That is all I needed. So as you can see, the agent here just had to do one interaction with this rather, rather complicated thing, and then he simply now can resolve the issues. Sam, what's been your experience as you've been working with brands to get the agent bot interaction working well?
Yeah, for the issues that get handed over from a bot, it typically is from use cases where some preliminary information needs to be collected or verification needs to be get collected. And then once it gets to an agent, they can use that information collected by the bot to really continue working on resolving the issue much faster, because they're not having to jump to the backend systems or do additional back and forth with the user if they're not giving all the information that is being requested. This really helps to greatly expedite the resolution time. And as we previously mentioned, CSAT is subsequently going up.
Excellent. Thanks, Sam. Well, we've completed this experience where we've now solved the problem, but there's one final important step that you can see that is started here. And that is the feedback that that you need to get. And what we have found out is, since the modern support journey is in-app, it's really the perfect place to capture customer feedback. We found that customers are 3 times more likely to respond to an in-app survey as part of this experience than any other channel. Yes, that's what I said. 3 times more likely to respond. And so that's why today we're announcing the general availability of Feedback Bots, which is a full feature in-app survey that's included with HelpShift that can capture the feedback directly from the customer about their support experience and even about the app. And when I mean a full survey capability, it's not just, oh, we're going to ask a CSAT question. We actually have the full dynamic capability to ask follow-up questions, to route, to take actions. And here, let me just show you, for example, here it's asking me, was my problem solved? I'm going to say, yes, it was solved. And then it's going to ask me a 5-star question. I'm going to show you behind the curtain a little bit here. And this is actually the feedback bot that you're seeing here. And you can see that as the question gets answered, as I answer the question, that it dynamically controls the flow into the next question. So if someone gives me, say, a low CSAT, say a 3 out of 5, saying it was just okay, I can now follow up and say, well, then what was the reason for that? Or I could actually direct back to an agent, or I could do any other things. I can collect just whatever information. So it really is a full feature survey tool, all within the in-app experience. And so here I can say, this was other, and then I could actually give some, some comment here. But in this case, I'll just skip it. So what you saw here is you saw a complete journey that started from the in-app self-help experience through knowledge, and then went into the full conversation that includes bots and AI, and then ending with an agent in a survey. This is the modern customer in-app support journey. It's everything that you need to provide amazing customer service. Everything from the help center to the AI to the bots to answer questions, automated workflows, backed by agents that create that personal touch, and a full featured feedback engine. So, and we've announced 4 of these new features that have come out today. There's one last thing that I wanted to announce. In addition to those capabilities, that today we are announcing that you can get HelpShift for free for 30 days. You can sign up and you can actually onboard. And the reason why we're doing this is we wanted to allow brands to experience and to give this customer support journey to their customers so that they can experience what in-app support really is. Now, in order to do that, we also had to make it super easy to set up this experience. And so as part of this, Sam and her team has been working on making it super easy to get this set up.
That's right, Eric. To add to what kind of Eric just shared, to make it easier for customers to set up this modern in-app support journey, we're actually providing templates across various industries such as gaming, fintech, retail, so that there's something for everybody and they can kind of tailor these templates. They serve as a guide, and you're able to make some edits to tailor it to your brand and your support processes. These guides showcase the most common problem types that users tend to contact support about inside the app based across these industries. And you can also use the templates out of the box or build on top of these to get fully set up with HelpShift in 30 days or less. Eric,
Thanks.
back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Well, we've talked about a lot of things today. I know there's a lot of information that we've passed along. So one of the things that we've also done is we've been putting out blogs recently that cover these things, and we'll also have some additional webinars. So take a look for this content that is available either through a blog or a webinar. The marriage between the modern SDK and the in-app customer service, it talks about why use an SDK, why use in-app, and how you can use the HelpShift SDK. Why intent is the future of in-app customer support. Talks about the importance of having a good intent engine, and how to have that design work so that your users can select the intent the knowledge base, the foundations of having a good knowledge base and self-help, and then also the importance of being able to have the feedback and having that as part of in-app. You can today sign up for HelpShift free for 30 days. You can go to helpshift.com, experience HelpShift, or you can scan the QR code. And as we said, we're going to be sending this out so that you can just use this QR code at any time. So I'd like to thank everybody for being here and for listening. I think we're going to open it up now to set up Q&A. A lot of people have been asking questions online. Eric, if you could help moderate the Q&A, that would be great, and we can talk about answer people's questions on the modern support journey.
Yeah, you bet. There's a couple that we've gotten in the general Q&A. If you want to take those first, Eric. First question we had was, do the AI supported smart intents work only in English?
Yeah, so I'm going to just rephrase that a little bit. Do the AI supported smart intents work in multiple languages? And I'm asking it that way. So the answer to that is yes. If you look at the AI support intents, there's a menu, and there is the in the AI support search and things like that. The menu is already multilingual. We're also releasing update for the search, so that also supports multilingual. HelpShift is actually a global company. We have brands across the world that give basically experiences in all these different languages. And so all of the features that we come out with are all multilingual, including our smart intents feature.
Hey, Eric, there was another question about how difficult it is to deploy the AI as well. Could you?
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple to deploy the AI. One of the things that we, since we've worked with so many brands, we actually have a lot of existing knowledge of what are those intents. And we can actually come in, we have several tools that will come in and take a look at to see what are the common things that customers are already looking at for you. But it typically takes, I don't know, maybe it's under a day. You just go in and you set up your intents. You would add the words for training, and you can actually import those to train it, and then, and then set up your menus. And so people are surprised typically, because when you do an AI project, it's usually gauged in months, and we gauge ours in hours and days. And so it's actually very simple to do right out of the box, especially with a lot of the pre-existing knowledge that we have.
Here's a follow-up question that just came in on the languages. What languages does Smart Intents currently support, or can you give a sense of how many different languages are supported, Eric?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Across, oh shoot, and I can't remember because we're always updating it. Tell you what, Eric, let me hold off on that one.
I can give some context here. Right now, our AI languages support across 99% of our customers' languages, so including eFigs, Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, Arabic, Turkish. So the most common ones that are currently used by kind of the global user base is definitely supported with our AI.
Perfect.
Great. There's another question about how does the bot know when to forward the chat to an agent? And can the bot put an emergency level on that chat, like a priority, assign a prioritization?
Sam does a lot of work with brands is setting these up. So I'm going to ask Sam if you could answer kind of how you've seen people manage that in the bots.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit how customers are doing this, and Eric, maybe you can talk about the product functionality. So we do have what's called custom fields that the bots can kind of run on based on the kind of the criteria that is set on those custom fields. And that's how we do the segmentation, prioritization, and how do we know when the bot is done running so that it needs to hand over to an agent. All of that can be defined using custom fields as well as our out-of-the-box functionality that's already part of the platform.
Yep, and
including
included
SLA.
in the box,
sorry, I'll just add, including SLA management. So when you're talking about emergency level, we definitely have features in place that help you prioritize based on SLAs.
Yeah, And on the features, essentially, we have the ability for you to define the workflow and define the criteria of that workflow. So when you, as you're defining the bot, you then indicate, here's the conditions by which you would offer an agent. And if those conditions are met, maybe it's a VIP person, maybe it's a time criteria or a type of issue, and then the bot then offers that. So that's all built into the platform with the conditional ways that you build the workflow.
This looks like a customer from, or looks like a question from an existing HelpShift customer. Is SDKX already available for update if we have HelpShift SDK 7.11?
Absolutely. So we released the initial versions of SDK last year. Within the past few months, we've actually released the upgrade of SDK. So if you're on previous versions of SDK, you can then upgrade, and then we'll be releasing in the next couple of weeks some of the plugins, platforms like Unity and Unreal and things like that. So so if you're an existing customer, please work with your support or your success agent, and they can help you schedule and get upgraded.
This question, I'm not sure I understand fully, but maybe Sam or Eric, you do. It's a question of any plans on adding a snooze functionality.
A snooze functionality.
I think maybe we can provide the context around push notifications rather than snooze.
Yeah,
Eric,
that's what it.
Do you want to speak to that?
That's what it sounds like, because what's interesting is that this kind of gets into the discussion about live chat. Think about live chat. You're like, oh, I have to be here connected. HelpShift is not like that at all. It's on a mobile phone, and so you don't actually have to stay connected. You could take your phone. You're chatting with the agent or chatting with them. Just shut it down. And when the agent responds, you'll just get just like when you get a text message or whatever, you'll get a push notification that says, hey, an agent responded. And then you can answer back when they want. And of course, the agent will know when they answered back. And so it's not a live chat experience at all. It's a messaging experience. And so this concept of, oh, I'm connected with an agent, and then I have to tell the agent that I need to walk away, or you don't have to do any of that. You're on your mobile phone. You're free to go do whatever you want, and it's free to engage with the brand on your time and on your schedule. And that's the beauty of in-app customer service, is that you don't have to sit here in a queue waiting for that magic moment or tell them, hey, I need to snooze this. That's my understanding of this, is that kind of that's a live chat concept. And so that's probably our quiet through you a little bit, because we're like, you can walk away anytime and just resume the messaging conversation.
Got it. Andreas, if there's any additional context there, if that didn't answer your question, feel free to type some further commentary in the chat, and we'll try and get it answered. Sam, another question: how long does it take to deploy HelpShift, and how easy or difficult is it to set up and build bots?
Installing the SDK is just a few hours work. If you have an SDK developer that can be familiar with our dev docs. And then getting it all set up, we have the guides, as I mentioned. So, somebody could go through that in 30 minutes and really understand how the features are linked together, and how to set up all the relevant tags and fields and things like that. The bots is a point and click interface. So really you can kind of go through the guides and then build a bot on your own. That's very simple in 5 minutes. And then kind of build on top of that to add your processes and designing the workflow. So altogether, we're basically saying you can get up and running with HelpShift as quickly as you like, or over a course of no more than 30 days, so that you can start to really see the ROI from the bots working immediately after that.
That's great. Sam, what would you say the customers that are seeing the higher CSAT ratings, what are they doing? What are the top couple of things that they're doing right?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we're definitely seeing that at least 80% of their issues are coming through the app. And so therefore the workflows are really defined really well, and the resolution time is prioritized quickly in that way. They also understand the common problem types their users are contacting their support about, and those workflows are intended to resolve them using a combination of bots and agents in the right places at the right time. Finally, it's really about personalized support to the different segments of users. So offering a combination of self-service for the most commonly asked questions or the lower level users versus problems that need additional triage, and having the bots and agents really work together to help them out, with the end goal to resolve their problem as quickly as possible and keep them coming back to using the app.
Great, very helpful. How do bots get information? This is another email that came in on the, or another question that came on the chat. Do they get it directly from the CRM? Is there any extra work needed for this?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can take
so-
this, and then Eric, do you
Sam,
wanna?
no, Sam,
Okay,
you
you
go.
can. Okay, I'll talk about kind of the two ways we're seeing customers do this. One is the bot is asking yes, no questions just for verification, so that by the time it gets to an agent, then they can kind of verify this and continue resolving the problem. So there's no kind of external systems they need to connect to. However, there is an option to use our APIs with our bots to directly connect to their backend CRM systems, where they can retrieve information or verify information and even take an action without an agent being involved end to end. Eric, if there's anything you want to add.
Yeah, no, that was the basically the three places that information is. One, it's in-app. So the app can pass context. Two, it's information provided by the customer. And three, it's with the bot itself can then integrate and pull information out of the CRMs. We also have default integrations with common CRMs such as Salesforce, where the information we use is actually built into the integration already. So, but yeah, those are kind of the three ways you get information.
Hey, Eric, while you're talking, here's another question for you. How do you handle users or players or customers who want to chat on social media or start conversations on Twitter, Facebook,
Yeah,
etc.?
So social media is absolutely a channel that you need to be aware of, and you need to be there because the questions may come in through those. But typically, the problem with, of course, social media is you don't have the context. You might maybe have an identity, and of course, all of the information is going across social media. So typically what we recommend is that that you monitor those channels. In fact, HelpShift does have integration with social media, so you can monitor those channels, but invite the conversation to be then in the app. So if someone's like, hey, look, how do I get a refund or things like that, then the agent can respond and say, great, we actually support this in app. All of the HelpShift functionality like bots and things like that can respond over social media, but what we typically find is that the in-app experience then takes the precedence because the customer then would prefer to be in-app. And so respond to simple questions over social media, but if it's something like that you need to take an action, do it in-app where you can be authenticated and can take real action.
Yeah, hopefully everybody's seen today that when you have fully integrated in-app modern customer support journey, it becomes the most elegant way to deliver support to your consumers. And whether it's social media or other channels, the more that you can use those to drive people in the app, you're going to drive app adoption. You're going to drive additional ability to monetize the relationship and a much more user-friendly support experience.
Yeah.
I think we'll make this the last question, Eric. In some cases and types of customers, they feel they must speak over the phone with an agent. How do you handle these scenarios? Can you hand over to a phone experience from the chat?
Yes.
Well,
yeah. First, there's a lot of different experiences out there, and in a lot of different channels. Phone is a very interesting one because to be honest, there are times when it's best to handle it over the phone. And that's why having the intent right up front is the most important thing that can happen. Imagine somebody comes in and they're like, look, I need to talk to you about $10,000 that just dropped out of my bank account, 5 minutes ago. And it happens to be a VIP person that did that. That may be something that you want to handle over the phone. And so you should have a bot actually step in, triage that quickly, realize it's a VIP person, realize it's a high priority, and then transition that and have the bot actually contact the agent to do either a callback which is something that we support today, where we can actually have, we can integrate with your existing voice system and have it just dial the phone. And so then the customer just picks it up and says, yeah, hi, I'm here. And then they can just escalate to a phone call. But it still starts in the app, because that's where the customer is going to be. And then you move to the phone as it warrants. And so it's very backwards from a lot of call centers today. This is, oh, call us and then we'll figure out where to go. And so they have to triage everything. You do it the other way. You start in the app and then you transition to phone for the most important and critical cases where you need that phone call. So yeah, that's all part of what the intent and the bots can do for you. And then we can talk about the specific technology integrations, either via Amazon Connect or some of our other partners that we have with VHT and whatever, but the technology is there to allow that to happen.
Awesome. I think that we've made our way through all the questions and we're approaching the top of the hour. So I think I'll wrap this up here. I hope that what you've heard today has given you an appreciation for why it's so important that you take or why keeping people in the app is so important, and that you take some time to let us show you how we can help you give your modern in-app consumers exactly what they want while growing your loyalty, your revenue, and your customer satisfaction. I personally believe that 3 to 5 years from now, we'll all look back and wonder how we ever could have thought it was a good idea to throw consumers out of the app for support. So as you all think about how you create world-class mobile apps and want to deliver an equally world-class in-app support experience for your customers, we'd love the opportunity to help you along that journey. So thank you for your time today, and look forward to hopefully having an opportunity to speak with some of you later. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.